Many thanks for staying with us. If you just tune in, you're watching the AM Club on MX24 TV. We are live. My name is Godwin Nambo. We call this segment Lifestyle Daily, meaning we're having a lifestyle conversation. And this morning we're talking about artificial intelligence. At least in the last 5 to 10 years, we've heard so much about artificial intelligence. It's come up and where it is now. This morning we want to fully understand what artificial intelligence is. Try to understand the two schools of thoughts that say that artificial intelligence is going to destroy mankind, and the other school of thought that says that artificial intelligence is actually going to be the tool that is going to take mankind to the next level. And then we can also look at how, as individuals or even as companies, organizations, we can take advantage of artificial intelligence. I'll introduce my guest shortly, but I have something very wonderful for you. The Top Choco 3-in-1 instant mixed chocolate drink is suitable for preparing both cold chocolate milkshakes and cups of delicious hot chocolate. Just add hot water. I had some yesterday. It was delicious. Now, introducing the latest addition to our Top Choco family is the Top Choco Cap, which is suitable for everyone and will surely be a crowd pleaser. Children can take it to school and imagine serving these cups at birthday parties, picnics, or any other gathering. This chocolatey treat will definitely make their day. Get your hands on a Top Choco Cap today and experience the joy of chocolate spread in a cup. Remember, Top Choco is made with love in Ghana using only the finest ingredients. Now let's get into artificial intelligence. Joining me this morning, a fine gentleman, Joshua Cleopas. He's the founder of VOM, which is an abbreviation for Voice of My Eyes, and he's also a tech influencer. Senior man, how are you?
Doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Right.
Good to have you.
Good to be here.
Artificial intelligence, let's get into it. First of all, let me know. I'm very biased when it comes to mobile phones. Is that an Apple or a Samsung?
It's an Apple.
It's an Apple?
Yeah.
So you're an Apple person?
Not really. I'm on the side of people who really pay close attention to detail. So
right.
if a new company comes up and can challenge that ideology, I'm hopping on.
I hear, is it true Elon wants to introduce the Pi phone?
The Pi phone?
Did you hear about that?
Not really.
So it's like a Tesla phone?
Right. Okay, we had the Tesla phone, yes. I think that has been in the working for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been on it. Do you know how far they've gone with that?
I'm not so sure. I'm usually following Elon on the rocket side and on the AI side.
I know he's launched a few rockets into space recently.
Yep.
He just landed. Okay. All right. So do you have an Android phone?
No.
So you're an Apple person now.
No.
Be honest. Which one is the best for you?
It depends on what you're doing.
Okay.
If I need to develop a lot of apps, if I need to prototype certain things, Android is definitely easier to start with. If you want convenience, ease of use, reliability, I'll definitely go with Apple.
Apple?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, but let's talk about artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So let's give us a layman's understanding or explanation of what artificial intelligence is.
So artificial intelligence, it's really the simulation of human intelligence by machines. So it's machines trying to behave like human beings, trying to think like human beings, trying to speak like human beings, trying to operate like human beings, trying to analyze like human beings. But what it does better than human beings is it doesn't forget, and it's able to continuously improve itself. The same way a child will grow up in school, go through the entire process of education, come out from university and knows a lot of things, artificial intelligence is similar. It learns as it goes on. Just that the data that it's collecting is collecting at a very fast speed, and the growth seemed almost instantaneous. So to the layman's term, it's really machines just trying to be like us.
It's very interesting. The intention of the creators of artificial intelligence, can we attribute one person to artificial intelligence?
Well, Sam was the one I would say. Sam is the founder from ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, so it's really OpenAI, the mother company that makes a product called ChatGPT. They have a plethora of products. I wouldn't say he's the founder, just that he's the one that pioneered AI coming mainstream, that people getting access to it on their daily basis. Initially, it's always there, but it's always locked up in the big corporate houses and people didn't really have access. But he blown up the lid, made a lot of people get access to it, and then all these other apps that are built on the same LLM, which is the language learning model, were created. So all these new apps are mostly running on their LLM.
Okay. But would you describe Siri,
Right.
Alexa, as AI?
Well, they do have a certain level of AI capabilities.
I'm Siri. Assistant.
They do have a level of that integrated in it. But Siri is not really AI. Siri fetches your information, analyzes and tries to connect it to something that you're asking. That's why sometimes it can't think outside the box. What AI can do is you can ask AI something. It might not be able to provide you with an answer, but it might give you something else, which will still solve your problem. So it's sort of thinking ahead of you, almost as if it's improvising to suit your need, which is something Siri can't do.
Really?
Yes.
But I can ask Siri what the weather is, or I can okay, maybe that's Siri can tell me about history. It can tell me about stuff that I want to know.
Siri can tell you about history. For instance, you can ask Siri to tell the history of Ghana.
Yes.
If Siri doesn't have that data, it would say it doesn't have that data.
Okay.
But AI will tell you, I don't have that data right now. However, I have these sources you can refer to. There's this library here, there's this person here, there's this person here. You can reach out to them to collect the data. If you still need me, let me know and we'll figure out what to do.
So it's an advanced form of, let's say, Siri.
Yes.
But Siri can develop to become artificial intelligence.
It's on the way, actually. So it's one of the things I feel Apple is working on. I've been waiting for them to really announce it. They've been integrating it slowly into a lot of things that we do. For instance, if you are good on iPhone, you realize that nowadays in your gallery, you can type for things.
Yeah.
And the pictures pop up with those. You can see a bottle and every single bottle. So that is like machine learning, right? The computers, the phones are continuously learning what a bottle looks like. So when you type bottle, it scans throughout all your images at very fast speed and shows you all the images of bottles you have
in your gallery.
in your gallery. So that is artificial intelligence at play.
Joshua, let's go to the before that. Let's understand how AI works. So, as humans, we're created well. You can choose to believe it or not. Some will say that it's religious and all that, but let's bring God into this conversation.
Okay.
Let's say we are made by God. We're made by God. And why am I doing this? We were made by God. And so he gave us free will, right? And as humans, we are learning and growing and advancing and exploring and creating stuff, okay? Now, some will say that because God gave us the chance to give us free will, that is why we've been able to expand and become where we are now, or come to where we are now in terms of civilization and advancement in technology and all that. Now, we as humans are creating, I don't want to call it a race, but we are creating, it's our creation.
Yeah, it is.
Artificial intelligence is our creation.
Yes.
So let's see it as we also creating another kind of beings.
Of consciousness.
Of consciousness.
Yes.
Okay. Would you say that AI, just like humans, have been given free will?
To be very honest, I think AI is really far from getting to the point where it has free will.
Really?
Yes, I would probably say maybe by 2040, 2045 is where we can truly see sentient AI. And that is where the scary thing comes in. But I think we are far off from there. Where we are now, it's like the early stages of AI, where it's really just a tool that you can pick and use. So without the input and the knowledge of the user, it's really useless. It can't do much without the user. But what you're describing is when it gets to a point where it can think and initiate on its own without any human interface. That is where we might be a little bit scared. But
and is that possible for the computer, for artificial intelligence to think on its own and operate on its own?
I believe it's very possible. I mean, even if I didn't know any better, I know Elon is starting a company that to actually challenge that ideology, to get to the point where if artificial intelligence does get to that point, he would want to have certain tools available to human beings that can counter that. So he's actually anti-AI in that spectrum.
Are you on the side of, they describe them as conspiracy theorists, but I mean, are you on the side of people like me who believe that these things were seen years ago, decades ago? So you have movies like Terminator 3.
Yeah.
You've seen Terminator 3.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the title of the 3. It's called something. It's almost like an apocalypse.
Yes.
Where robots were attacking humans.
Was it Age of Extinction or something?
I think so.
Age of Extinction.
I think so. So do you believe that we could get to the point where because we're creating robots now.
Yes.
Chatbots are easy; they are on phones, so we are not. But robots, actual robots, we've seen some in China, we've seen some in Korea, and other parts of the West, where robots are able to do what human beings can do. There's this video on social media of a robot playing tennis with human. Is that true?
Okay, so that was an AI at play. So it's an AI. So what it does is it captures the image of the actual player, then it superimposes a robot on it. So that was actually a human being.
Yeah,
so if you check out my Instagram, I actually did a version of that where I changed myself to that specific robot that was in that specific video, so for people to know. So I'll say the robot with the closest augmentation like human beings would probably be the Boston Dynamic robot.
Okay.
After that would probably be the recent one that Elon Musk just released, because it had really good cognitive hand-to-eye coordination. But the issue is there was a little glitch in the video, and people are saying it's edited. So as of now, we really can't say how good robots are when it comes to coordination. But when it comes to simple tasks, labor, heavy-duty work, they are definitely erasing a lot of jobs in that area.
Speaking of erasing a lot of jobs, and before we come to the distraction of the world,
right?
What jobs do you foresee? I've asked ChatGPT this thing before. We had a conversation. We asked ChatGPT, what jobs are AI likely to replace? And it mentioned a few. In your estimation, what jobs do you think AI is likely to replace? And for that reason, if you have sisters and brothers coming up, you tell them, nah, don't study. They don't go into this career because it's gonna go extinct.
So that's a tough question to answer.
Graphic designing?
No, I think graphic designing is far away from AI. It will make it easier. So, for instance, the true representation of what a designer is a thinker and a creative person. The output is what you see as a design, right? Now, AI can accelerate that process, but the graphic designer himself is trained to synthesize information and also add a little creative touch that is unique to different things. Now, what AI can do appears to be unique, but it wouldn't be termed true creation. So there's a debate right now that can AI create art or AI replicates art. So there's a lot of people on the side of AI creates art because it's new. And there are people that are saying AI is only replicating art because it's collecting the data from all these existing artists and putting it together. So it's not exactly new like what a human being would do. I'm AI biased. So I'm always on the side of Charlie. AI can create art because what is art if not the amalgamation of things that already exist? It's already there. There's nothing new under the sun, right?
Are you sure?
Yes.
Some of the best paintings we've seen.
They weren't really new. So, for instance, an artist sees a nice landscape. The landscape becomes the source of inspiration. They go back and they paint.
Source of inspiration.
Yes. So without the landscape, without seeing the landscape, painting that image would be virtually impossible.
You don't think artists have painted or can paint stuff they've not seen before?
No, I don't think so.
We don't know what it looks like on Pluto.
Right.
Right? You don't think an artist can imagine what Pluto could be like? Or you're saying that he would take inspiration from Earth?
Yes, but for you to imagine, you have to visualize.
Yes,
visualize. And once you are visualizing, your mind is giving you the data you have. You can't think of what you haven't seen. So your mind is just giving you visions and glimpses of things that might look like what you consider. That's why art is very subjective, because how you see the color red. I mean, how are you so sure that the way you see yourself in the mirror is how I see you?
That's very interesting. That's a very interesting one.
So that's how it works. It's extremely subjective.
Now I want to experiment that. I don't know. So are you saying that how I see myself on TV right now may not be how you're seeing me on TV?
For the TV, that's a fact. How you see yourself on TV is definitely different from how you are in real life. It's been studied all over. So, but when it comes to mirrors, it can be very tricky.
I like the argument you make for AI that it is also collecting data, just as we have in our memories.
Rapidly.
Yeah, and it's collecting this very fast.
In
to
billions
create stuff. You
per
say,
second.
Show me a picture of a black angel.
Right.
And then you see some beautiful work of art. And it has collected data from, let's say, does it collect from the internet?
Everywhere.
From everywhere?
Yeah.
So from my device?
Yeah, from your device too. I mean, there's a lot of people trying to challenge that. So right now, there are lots of opt-in and opt-out services where you are restricting the apps
Allow, not
from
allow.
collecting certain data from you. So AI is, in marketing, for instance, AI is doing a lot because now they're doing targeted marketing where they are studying your behavior and your uses. So the customer behavior has now become a pool of data that brands are using to sell to you. So you could be having a conversation about bottles, and the next thing you receive bottles
It's
out
happening all the time.
all over. Yeah.
All the time. Happened in the studio recently.
Yeah.
So is it the same as algorithm? Is the algorithm same as artificial intelligence?
I mean, so when you say the algorithm, it's basically the math behind the mind, like the math behind the artificial intelligence. Like I said, it's simply trying to behave like human beings. So the algorithm is just being updated. But what artificial intelligence does is it can update itself. It does not need a human interface to come and update it. It can grow on its own. And when it gets to that point where it's rapidly grown on its own without the human touch, then it gets to that point where we are getting to the Terminator.
Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling at this scary
'Cause
idea? It is a scary idea.
I don't find it scary. I mean, to a certain degree, humans have proven themselves over history to be very
Dominant,
very crazy people when they have tools. I mean, you can look back at the invention of the handgun, a concealable. It brought about so much destruction. You can look at the invention of the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima, literally stopped the Second World War. So, with powerful technology in the wrong hands, it can be very dangerous. I mean, right now, I foresee something very terrible happening in the current election. I mean, I know certain people who have their hands in AI and are ready to unleash it during this current election. And it's going to be
the upcoming one?
The upcoming one. And it's going to be very interesting. So I'm actually trying to see how many of these upcoming presidential candidates are actually looking to integrate any type of AI strategy into their campaigns, because it can reach more people, it can target individual personalities and market to them individually. I mean, a simple use case can be where we can use an app like Synthesia to create a clone of, let's say, Alan Chamating, right? And the clone can call everybody and talk to them independently as if he knows about them. You speak, the clone will reply, because it's not a pre-recorded message like what other people would do. It's real time, and the clone will sound like him because you're going to clone his voice, clone his image, and the conversation will be in real time. And this is very doable. I'm just waiting to see who actually takes advantage of AI in this coming election. It's going to be super dope.
There's such a thing as Synthesia?
Synthesia, yes. So, for instance, you're an anchor, right? Now, with AI, people can start new TV stations without leaving their house. You can create a whole new human being, give it a voice, use ChatGPT to generate a concept, create a script, let it speak, edit, post. That's it. You have your own TV channel without a real person. And I might argue that it might be very difficult for people to tell the difference.
Does that mean that my job is at risk?
Your job is at risk.
You didn't mention, you said graphic designing is not like, because this is art as well.
Yes.
This is art, and I think that humans like to connect with other humans.
Yeah.
So sitting here is not just because I'm a nice guy or you're a nice guy. It's also the fact that people can connect with another real person.
Yep.
So where AI comes in, do you think that people will just take the information that's given, but do you think people can connect?
Well, that is also a question of sentience, right? So you know at the back of your mind that AI is not conscious. You know, it has no real essence, right? But there are some people who really don't mind. I mean, we've seen that happen in China, excuse me to say, with all their sex dolls and people actually getting intimate with these things. And you notice that in certain cultures, they are very accepting of new technology.
Yeah.
And in certain cultures, they are very adverse to new technology. So it really depends on the part of the world that you are.
Yeah.
But I believe that AI replacing that human interaction, it's something that would not exist. And even if it would, I feel human beings are going to fight very hard to make sure that that personal connection we have will stay the same, at least maybe for the next century.
Basically, you think that we will battle AI for whatever it brings?
I mean, I feel like we're already battling AI. It's stealing jobs.
It's early days. It's early days.
I mean, so imagine.
We're seeing the glitch. Sometimes, you see AI reading some stuff and you're like, oh, this is a robot. It's not a human being.
Yeah.
But it's advancing, like you said. At first, I have to say, hey, Siri. It's going to,
Yeah.
But now you just have to say Siri.
Mm-hmm. It's going to work on that. I understand.
Siri. Now we're going to have conversations without necessarily having to do, hey, Siri, hey, Siri. So it's advancing.
Yes, it is.
Just to confirm, you'd like to call now Emily Quayston.
I don't want to call anybody, please. Okay.
Oh.
Joshua.
Yes.
Coming to AI and how it can benefit us individually.
Right.
Tell us, the everyday person, me, you, my cameraman, and everything. There's an AI thing in Snapchat now. I understand. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
What does it do? Can you explain to us?
So the AI in Snapchat is literally just running on the ChatGPT LLM.
Okay.
So it's just an AI that lets you speak to it. So it's literally just going to answer whatever you ask it. It's going to speak to you like a real person. So it's literally like a more hip version of the ChatGPT, just working like that. So it's nothing
So it
fancy.
speaks back to you.
Yeah,
like
just
you have conversations.
You
with
have
it.
conversations with
You
it.
don't have to. You don't have to input certain things.
No, I mean you have to initiate a conversation.
Okay,
but
it's chatting. It's not talking.
no, it's not talking. It's chatting.
It's chatting.
Yeah. So once you initiate, you guys can talk for years, and you never run out of
You
conversation.
can talk about anything.
anything at all. Anything at all.
This is curing loneliness, isn't it? It's going to cure loneliness. Or
I
something.
mean, a lot of people are using it as measures to fight depression, mental health issues. Now, it even became an issue where a lot of these practitioners were speaking against it because they work so hard to secure a license to be able to practice their occupation. And now here comes a language learning model that does better than them because it has more data. So what happens is now when you try to do a similar thing, it's going to say that we are not professionals. However, this is what we will say, but we will still advise that you seek professional help. This is just a quote that really lets you know that you have to go to professional. But really, the advice you're getting is very top-notch, even coming from an AI.
But if you look at the reverse, what it's going to do is also going to get people to disconnect from other people, from real people.
Well,
Because
I mean,
if I can talk to, especially, so imagine you've dated a few people and, I think everybody likes someone they can have smart conversations with.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have this AI, artificial intelligence, whatever, on Snap that, you can have top-notch conversation with. When you meet someone in real life who may not be able to meet that standard of AI, you will find it hard to connect, won't you?
Well, I would say if somebody acts like that, then the person initially has unrealistic expectations. Because as a conscious person, you're not speaking to a real human being. And for you to understand what AI is, that means that you are comparing a human being to a large database over trillions of dollars, and you're expecting to meet someone like that on the streets. And even if you do meet someone like that, I don't think you'll be worthy to date someone like that because you are not much yourself.
My goodness. Okay. So teach us about other AI tools out there that professionals can use. So I know about photography. I hear now with photography, photographers are using certain AI tools. Even with there's this I don't remember the name of the app, but when you take photos of people, like you do photo shoots, you can change backgrounds. You can change.
Right.
Yeah. Well, do you know about that?
I mean, a lot of so most of them fall under the category of generative AI. So these are AI models that can just generate images and either fix them into existing spots or just take them away from existing spots. So for instance, I can take a picture of you and change your shirt into a suit, right? I can give you an afro or make you bald. I can put glasses on you. For instance, the picture, the image that you guys use for my flyer, the glasses were generated with AI. So it's not these glasses, but I got this like, oh, I wish these glasses could be on that picture. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I can actually do that. So I literally just selected the glasses, typed green frames, and the glasses just came on me.
Is AI not going to alter reality?
What do you mean by alter reality?
It's not real. It's going to give unrealistic, like you said, even with the relationship thing. These are unrealistic things we're seeing. It's creating this very other side of reality. It's more like a virtual world opposed to reality. So like you said, you're not wearing that glasses, but we look at the picture and you have that glasses on, but it's not real. It's not what you're wearing.
Yeah. So I think that still falls back to what I initially said about the usage, right? With human beings to be very unpredictable. For instance, I would say social media has done more damage than AI ever can. And the issue is people putting up these images. So it's the intention of the user. For instance, there are people with accounts right now putting themselves in places they've never been and driving in cars they do not own and living up a life that appears to be very like them, but it's not. There are people renting planes for reels and things like that.
But they're doing it themselves. As in, even if it's fake, even if it's not for them, they are there and they're doing it. So perhaps you come here and you're my friend and you have a V8, right? I go sit in it, I take pictures and act like it's mine.
Yes.
But I am sitting in a car, even though
Yes.
it's not mine.
Right.
Right? It's different from AI where I don't have it. Right? I've got to take it from somewhere. I've got to take some image from somewhere.
Yeah. It's the same thing, because at the end of the day, what it's really doing is deceiving the end user.
The end user.
And whether the deception is through borrowing or through generative AI,
It's
the
still-
effect is the same.
Still.
So we are measuring the effect. The process is getting easier because now not everybody has to have a friend who has a V8. If you have an AI friend, you can't get a V8. So what AI is really doing is giving accessibility. And once people have access to the tools, now they can do a lot of things. Let me give you a physical example. So let's say in an everyday world, a lot of people do not have access to certain things that rich people do have access to. For instance, you are done with university, you are having difficult to find a job. So you decide, let me learn a skill, right? Let me learn a skill. And initially, the process of learning a skill in Ghana is very difficult. You either have to find a skilled person who's willing to train you, and after finding a skilled person who's willing to train you, you have to go through the gruesome process of working for free, hoping that you land a job after that with that person, study for a bit, and then break on your own. Now, what happens with AI is most of that process has been reduced because you now have an AI mentor or a teacher which can show you the ropes, which can analyze data based on all your competitors. For instance, one thing I can do is I can copy all the websites of all the videographers or graphic designers in Ghana, let the AI tell me everything they are doing. Let's create a unique selling proposition that is not offered by any of these people
Wow.
and make me stand out. So simply like that, I don't have to access these people. I've been able to sort of create a whole new system to how I work. For people who are in administrative stuff, let's put the creativity aside. People in admin, right? AI is increasingly making their work easier. From things like giving very rapid response to emails, being able to convince people in a way that you wouldn't naturally be able to because you don't have good mastery over the English language. For instance, I had a project not so long ago, and the people were trying to cut my budget in half. I wanted to express myself to a certain level that will let them understand why I'm charging what I'm charging. I was like, wait, what am I even trying to do? I just copied the whole thing, put it in one AI, and asked it to give me a good statement to argue my point. I did it. I did not get a full amount, but I got 75% more than I would have had. Now, people are using this all around. In research work, in education, people writing their exams, master's degrees are all using AI for research, to write. People are using AI for things like project management, which is making it very easy, like automated messages to your clients. I mean, the use cases across board is crazy. In agriculture, people are using AI to know the quality of soil and the time. People are using AI to sort of separate, especially when it comes to the harvesting process. People are now using AI to separate the ripe from the unripe fruits. For instance, when you put a pack of tomatoes on a conveyor belt, part are green, part are red. The greens are not ripe yet. Now AI is simply just looking at the ones that are ripe and just kicking them away, and the ones that are not and just putting them somewhere else. So the use
How is
cases.
it doing that?
So it's linked to a machine.
Okay.
The machine has a camera, and the camera is looking at these tomatoes.
Okay.
So when it notices a green tomato, it puts it aside.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
this is something, it's like color sorting.
Right.
Right. Now this is something that will take a lot of people a lot of time to do. Now the AI can do it endlessly. Of course, other people will argue that, how about all those people who could have been doing that job? Where do they go now? So the threat of AI,
That's a different conversation we should
yes,
have.
the threat of AI is people on the lower end are going to suffer a lot, because now you can easily be replaced, not only cheaper, but 10 times better. Now that's crazy. Employers in Ghana are always saying that when you graduate from school, you don't know enough.
There's a lot of unemployment in Ghana.
Exactly. So in the fields of banking, in the fields of telecommunication, in the fields of broadcast, in the fields of design, in the fields of research, I would say even in the fields of healthcare in the near future, there's a lot of the processes that's going to be replaced with AI.
Oh, sports.
Sports,
It's going to be difficult, isn't it?
sports is going to be difficult, but so far I know people are using AI to study the play method of teams to generate an alternative counter. So the machine sort of watches the entire video, and then it says, okay, in every 5 minutes, the left back does this. In every 25 minutes, the right back does this. Now, to counter that, let's do this. And it suggests to the manager a whole number of alternatives that it can counter. Now, this is something that will take an experienced manager to do. You have to sit down and watch countless games, but now the AI can do it very quickly.
Joshua Cleopas, man, we should have that conversation again about the human side of this and how this is going to destroy mankind.
I don't think.
I'm just joking. All right, man. Thank you so much. Where can we find you if we want to?
You can check me out on Twitter. That is usually where I put all my AI stuff. X, sorry. Yes.
We'll sue you.
At Joshua Cleopas. You'll find most of what I've been researching on there, and I'm just sharing all the tips, all the secrets that you can find when it comes to applying AI. And it's really not just around just the creative field as well, even in the professional skill. But one part I'm going to be increasingly focused on now is going to be entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Because I believe that as Ghanaians, especially as a youth, our future really lies in our own hands, looking at the considerable disappointments we are all facing. But with AI as your friend, I feel like a lot of people might really have a big break and will be able to really see what financial independence might look like.
Beautiful. Thank you. So we'll find you on X,
Yes.
Joshua Cleopas. All these services, are they paid? These AI things that you're talking
The
about?
good ones are, but
They are paid services,
Yes,
but there
they're
are
paid.
free ones out
there are lots of free
I'll
ones.
ask you off air.
No problem.
Thank you very much. All right, that is Joshua Cleopas. He's the founder of VOM, Voice of My Eyes, and he's a tech influencer. It's a Wednesday. We are styling Gilly. That's up next. Stay.